It's Andrea. Welcome to the Profitable Agent community, the weekly live training. How are y'all today on Thursday? I'm going to give it a moment and wait on someone to jump on. Today we are going to be talking about how to handle overwhelm in your business. I think that we all can relate to feeling a bit overwhelmed when it comes to running an insurance business or any kind of business for that fact. But as we're responsible for, making appointments and running the appointments and sometimes generating your own leads, all these responsibilities within our business, plus the other hats that we wear, from being a parent to being a child to being a sibling, the community work we do, we wear so many hats, and it can get to a point that we are a bit overwhelmed. And so today I want to offer some strategies or some tips to help you when you're feeling that way, so that nothing stops you from moving forward and accomplishing your goals. So if you're new here, give me a hashtag live. If you're watching on the replay, let me know hashtag replay. I always like to see who is tuning in, and so that I can actually give you guys chat with you. So who is this live for? It is for any insurance agents, whether you're new in the business or you're a seasoned agent, because we have levels of overwhelm, and sometimes a new agent's overwhelm comes from different stressors than a seasoned agent. So let's talk about strategies that we can use to help us handle this. Who I am a licensed insurance agent for the last decade. I have sold final expense, mortgage protection, ancillary supplemental products. I have done employee benefits. I have door knocks. I have set appointments myself. I've run direct mail leads. I've run telemarketer leads, Facebook leads. I've done it all. I've been out there with you guys in the trenches. I know what it's like to be an insurance agent. I still sell insurance to this day. Just so you know, full disclosure, I do not recruit or am I building an agency. So you can feel safe in knowing that your agents can come here for training and they will not be harassed about joining my opportunity. So overwhelm has been a problem for me over the last 10 years, because one, I tend to be a perfectionist and I think I should have it all together all the time, and that is in all areas of my life. And I would imagine that I have a lot of friends in this group that are the same way. We're go-getters. We want it to happen now, and we don't know how to extend ourselves some grace. And so that sometimes leads to overwhelm for us, because we're trying to take on all these jobs and responsibilities. We don't like to delegate. We want to handle it ourselves, and then we find ourselves in a situation where we're forgetting our passwords because we have so much going on in our mind. So it's something that I've continuously had to find strategies to handle. And the first thing I want to talk about, exactly what is overwhelm. It's that feeling where you just feel like everything is coming at you. The technical definition is that it's being emotionally, completely submerged in a situation, your thoughts and your emotions, that you can't even accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. And that you're almost to the point that you're feeling paralyzed or you can't move. And I know that for me, that has happened many times. To be perfectly honest, I had a moment of overwhelm this week that I had to stop and use some of these strategies that I'm going to talk about today, to personally get me moving again, because I was paralyzed. And like, we can't help people, we can't make money being paralyzed. So we have to find what strategy works best for us to keep us moving forward. The first thing that we can do is totally reframe the ideal of being overwhelmed, because we need a level of it for success. Because if we're not doing anything or trying to accomplish anything, then chances are we're not going to feel any of this turbulence or this resistance, because we're just idle. But when we start trying to make those changes, and we have all these things going on emotionally, and our energy is being pulled in all different directions, like, a little bit of that is good, because we know we have to have all that to move forward in our journey, to actually get progress in our journey. But we can't have it to the point that we are totally paralyzed. And so the first thing that you can do when you're feeling completely overwhelmed, like I was this week, you can mind dump. That's what I call it. It's where you take a sheet of paper and you literally write out everything that's going on in your business, and try and identify where the stressor is coming from. Because once you can identify what's going on to make you feel this way, then you can figure out where your focus needs to be. I recently read in a book by Dan Henry, he was talking about one of the biggest keys to his success was learning focus. And that we try and do so many different things that we only have so much energy. And when we trying to do all these different things, and you start dividing your energy at 100% and your focus, like, suddenly we're spending, like, we have like 10% worth of focus or energy to spend on an activity that we need to be focused on to grow our business. I mean, we know that to make money in insurance, we have to make sales. So we know that it's got to be one of our focuses, is on running appointments, closing appointments, writing application. But before we can get to that point, there's things that have to happen. And either we delegate it out to someone else, or we learn how to manage our time better. So you really need to identify where the stressors are coming from. And the best way I know to do that is literally to take a white sheet of paper and just, like, see what you're feeling, see what's coming to mind. And you'll realize where the stressors are coming from. And then from there, you can identify, okay, which ones of those do I need to focus on? What activities do I need to focus on that's going to move me closer to my goal? And it's going to be income producing activities. Because a lot of times we put these deadlines and these expectations and all this stress on ourselves that's not necessary. Like, we don't have to do this to get these results. Yeah, it would be nice, but is it a necessity? And when we're having these moments of feeling this overwhelm, like, we have to really assess what is the most important income producing activities, and that's where our focus goes. Because when emotions are high, our intelligence is low. So this week, I've had several situations where, like, I could not remember passwords, I couldn't remember logins, I forgot to do important things like in my family life. And it's because the emotions were so high, my intelligence was low. And that's a bad feeling when you're trying to log in and you can't remember the password, you can't remember the user ID, you can't remember any of it. So what did I do? I sat down with a sheet of paper. I said, here's the situation that's causing me this overwhelm. What can I do to fix it? And I came up with my strategy. And I said, okay, this is my strategy. Let me get to work on these activities. That's going to move me closer. And just having that strategy written down and figuring out my plan of action, some of the overwhelm went away. because then I knew the path that I needed to take with the activities that I needed to do. And when you're feeling that overwhelm, I would suggest you do the same thing. This third thing that I would suggest you doing if you're feeling like I can't go anymore is self-care. As insurance agents, I know we spend a lot of time meeting with people on the road. We're not drinking enough water, and the brain has to have water to function. Earlier this week when I was having this moment, I was telling a friend who's in the business too, and she said, Andrea, are you drinking enough water? And I was like, no. And I know that the brain has to have water to function properly, to process all the information that I take in. So make sure that you're drinking enough water. Make sure you're doing self-care. Make sure you're exercising. I mean, even if it's just a 15-minute walk. When I implemented daily exercise into my activities for the day, I saw a difference. Practice gratitude. Because what happens when we actually practice gratitude is it causes the body to release serotonin, which is a feel-good hormone. And so we feel better. So just take a second and think about 3 things that you're extremely grateful for in that moment. And really feel it. Not just like, oh, I'm thankful for my family, I'm thankful for my car, I'm thankful. No, feel it. Like, feel how thankful you are. Because it's hard to be anxious when you're grateful. And then there's some breathing techniques that you can use when you're feeling overwhelmed. You can take a deep breath in and a deeper breath in and then a deep sigh. And you can do that 5 times and it's going to cause the body to relax some. So, these are for situations when you find that you are overwhelmed. But let's look at some strategies that you can implement so that you don't reach that point. You manage it. You're putting yourself in a situation where you're not going to become as overwhelmed because you're taking action and you're being assertive in making sure that you don't reach those levels of overwhelm. And the first one is to time block and set strict boundaries when it comes around your time. Parkinson's law says that an activity will take up as much time as it was allotted. So if we put time restraints on certain activities, we can get them done. But if we don't, it's going to take up as much time as we allow for it. So really start to time block. So you have a certain amount of time in the day to set appointments. You have a certain amount of, your time block for running your appointments. You have a time block for scrubbing your applications or submitting them online, or however it is that the post-close work that you have to do. You have a time block for your marketing as you're building your brand. Time block and put do not disturb on your phone so you're not disturbed from the work you're doing. When I'm out in the field, I don't take personal phone calls. I'm in a zone. And that's one of those strict boundaries that I had to set when it came to my time and running appointments. The second thing is that I think that we have to do a better job of setting reasonable expectations of ourselves and our priorities. We tend to be overachievers, and so we hold ourselves to these high expectations. And I believe in expectations. I've heard trainers say that, expectations just lead to disappointment. But I believe that we have to have a level of expectation to keep us moving. But we have to evaluate, are the expectations that we're putting on ourselves, are they unreasonable with the time and the resources we have to work with? I mean, if you're selling insurance part-time, you have a limited amount of time to do all the activities. So you have to set reasonable expectations around your goals. And you have to set priorities. You have to realize what is a priority in moving my business forward. Because everything that's not a priority, then I can push it back. So when you realize what is a must and what is a maybe, like, it lowers the threshold for the overwhelm. The third thing that you can do to help prevent overwhelm is that you can invest in your business. And by that I mean there's technology that can help you in your business, like simplify things, move things faster. You can hire a virtual assistant that can help you with some of the administrative things. You can hire an appointment setter that helps you with setting appointments. You look for areas in your business that you can delegate so that you can do more of those income producing activities and you have more time. You can invest in, someone, a mentor to help you, guide you so that you can cut down on that learning curve. I'm a big believer in investing in mentors. I can't get more time. And so if someone can help me shortcut to where I'm trying to go, I'm in. So, and learning to set boundaries in general, learning to tell people no. We are in a people-driven business, and we like the word yes, because we want to hear yes when it comes time to an application. But we can't always say yes ourselves to everything, because we end up being so pulled in so many directions that's how we end up feeling so emotionally drained that we can't remember our password. So sometimes you have to tell people no so that you can serve them in another way. Because you have to have for yourself. It's like, they always say on the airplane that you have to put the oxygen on first, because you have to take care of you. If you don't have oxygen, you can't help anyone else. And I know that we're coming up into a busy time, especially if you're a Medicare agent. You're coming up on this enrollment period. And so, you're trying to get as many applications as you can. Every minute counts. Just try and implement some of these strategies where you do time block and you are set reasonable expectations for the enrollment period. And telling people no when it's not serving you the best. And if it requires investing some in your business, invest. Because you'll be more productive when some of that stress is off of you. So what we covered today, it's a shorter video, is what is overwhelm. It's that feeling of like when the tide comes in and you go under. It's that feeling. It's that feeling of being where you can't move forward. You're just paralyzed in life or in your business. And some of the ways to effectively handle the overwhelm are to figure out what it is that's causing the stressor, and then focusing on the important task, the income producing activities that's going to move your business forward. Making sure that you're taking good care of yourself. You're doing self-care. You're getting the rest you need. You're drinking the water. You're exercising. You're eating healthy. Guys, I know, you run appointments and you go through the drive-thru. And we need fuel to run. Our body needs fuel. And, I don't eat perfect, but I do try and eat better, because once I realized how much the the body depended on the fuel that we were putting in it, I want to perform at my best. And to perform at my best, I have to, put the best fuel in my body. And then I talked about ways, strategies just to prevent the overwhelm, like scheduling your time in time blocks, and realizing the priorities, and managing your expectations, and learning to say no and set those boundaries, so that you can perform at your best. So I hope these were helpful for you as we're closing out this last quarter of 2020, because it's been a stressful year in itself, that you can utilize some of these strategies to apply into your business and into life, and so that you can finish the year out strong. If you would like some help with coming up with a game plan to manage the overwhelm, or an area of your business, maybe you're wanting to start looking at generating leads, wanting a social media strategy, book a free 30-minute call with me, and let's chat about what route you need to take in your business. So I hope you have a great end of the week, and stay safe wherever you are if you're in the path of the latest hurricane. And I will talk to you again soon. Have a great one.